Abortion is a choice that women have been making for centuries, and it's not going anywhere. But what if it was illegal? What would happen if all of the abortions were illegal? What would happen to women and girls who wanted to have an abortion but couldn't? What if they didn't have access to safe abortion services?
Life won today! Life won today!
Would they die from backstreet abortions? Would they be forced to carry their pregnancies to term? Welcome back to Limitless. It's been a while, but we're back. We want to thank you for watching and making it possible for us to keep doing what we do best. We can't imagine a world without abortion. It would be like a world without laughter, or chocolate, or the internet. It just wouldn't be possible. We could see some real changes in how people approach sex and reproduction. Having children would never be a sure thing, and there would be no such thing as accidental pregnancies. Well, we can imagine all kinds of crazy scenarios where people are trying to terminate pregnancies all over the world, but they just can't figure out how they're going to do it without getting caught by law enforcement. Some people might try to hide their pregnancies by wearing baggy clothes or stuffing themselves with McDonald's food, which we think could actually work. The first thing we would like to see is a radical increase in unsafe abortions. Abortion is already a big part of the global health problem, and it's one that we're not doing very much about it. Women would continue to get abortions, but they'd have to do it illegally. This is because there are no doctors willing to perform abortions. So, women would either go to back alley doctors or ask their friends who are doctors for help. Women would also go to dentists and other professionals for help because most of them will perform abortions despite not being able to legally prescribe them. This is incredibly dangerous, especially if they're doing it without information or support from professionals. And it's a huge reason why maternal mortality rates in developing countries are so high. If abortion were illegal worldwide, this would only get worse. The demand for back alley abortions would be much higher because of the lack of access to safe legal procedures available in other countries. This is especially true for poor women who cannot afford to travel abroad for an abortion or who lack the financial means to pay for one privately. We would have an increase in back alley abortions, resulting in unsafe and dangerous conditions and a large number of deaths from abortion. The lack of access to safe and legal abortions will lead to more women dying at home or in illegal situations. This would also cause a rise in birth defects and infant mortality rates. Abortion is necessary for the health of women's bodies, especially those who cannot afford a child or unwilling to take care of one themselves. The population would increase if it were made illegal worldwide because many women would resort to unsafe abortions or even just go without having children at all. Women would be forced to continue their pregnancy, including those in situations of conflict, natural disaster, rape, or incest. This is a sad reality for women worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, more than 1 million abortions are performed each year in countries where abortion is illegal. Approximately 1 in 3 abortions are unsafe and result in complications for the mother or child. In many places where abortion is illegal, women who want an abortion are forced either to travel long distances or to risk their health by having an abortion at home instead of risking arrest or imprisonment by local authorities. In addition to these physical dangers, women who live in countries where abortion is illegal are often stigmatized and blacklisted by their communities if they carry to term a pregnancy that began as a result of rape or incest. This can have devastating consequences on the psychological health of both the mother-to-be and her family members. What would happen to women with life-threatening conditions who need to terminate their pregnancy? Would they die? If abortion were illegal, we could expect that women would die as a result of the procedure. We would see an increase in the number of women who die from unsafe abortions. The number of women dying from unsafe abortions is already quite high. Some estimates suggest that as many as 550,000 women die every year from complications related to unsafe abortions. The number of unwanted children worldwide is increasing. In many countries, such as Africa and Asia, the majority of births are to single mothers who have had no sexual experience before marriage. In these countries, there are so many people who have never been taught about sex, and they often do not know how to prevent pregnancy or how to protect themselves from an unintended pregnancy. If abortion were illegal, these women would be forced to give birth to their babies. This would mean that there would be more babies than there are at home for them to live in, and many of them would die from poverty or malnutrition or neglect. Things would not end there. Women with life-threatening conditions like cancer and epilepsy, or other conditions that make childbirth dangerous for her, would be forced to carry a child until it died, or was born alive but then killed it immediately. This would mean that many more pregnant women would die than simply because of complications from incomplete abortions or miscarriages. The best way forward is to make abortion safer and less stigmatized. I'm not a doctor, but I've studied the science and policy of abortion, and I'm pretty sure that this is a case where the solution is as simple as it is effective. When abortion is heavily restricted or banned, women from poor, rural, and marginalized communities suffers the most, as they may not be able to afford to travel to places where abortion is legal or pay what it costs. Around the world, an estimated 8 to 11% of maternal deaths are caused by unsafe abortion. In May, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released data showing that hundreds of women die in the United States each year from preventable complications related to pregnancy. Preventable maternal deaths will only increase if access to abortion is further restricted. Abortion is here to stay, and we need to make it safer, not more stigmatized. That's the conclusion of a new study by an institute which analyzed trends in abortion laws around the world over the last 3 decades. The researchers found that countries with more restrictive abortion laws, such as those in Latin America, actually have higher rates of unsafe abortions than countries with liberal laws. But rather than trying to reduce access to abortion services even further, what seems likelier to reduce deaths from unsafe abortions is simply making them safer. That's because when you make it easier for people to get abortions, say by making them legal or accessible without requiring a specific reason, they use them less often. And when you make abortion safer, fewer women die from complications related to their procedures. It is true that abortion remains a reality whether it is legal or not. In fact, it has existed since ancient times. The first documented use of an abortion was by Egyptians who used herbs and drugs to induce an abortion. However, it was not until the invention of the pill that women were able to have abortions without medical supervision. Abortion rates are higher in countries where it is legal. This is because many women resort to unsafe abortions as a form of contraception and/or for economic reasons. For example, if a woman cannot afford to take birth control pills or she does not want to be sterilized, then she may resort to an abortion instead, which is often less expensive than other forms of birth control methods, such as condoms or intrauterine devices. In countries where abortion is illegal, women tend to resort to dangerous methods, such as herbal remedies and toxic substances that can cause severe health complications like hemorrhage, infection, and even death. Well, that's it from this video. What do you think about the future of abortion laws? Do you think banning abortion will solve any of the world's problems? Share your thoughts by commenting below. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and share this video with your friends to help spread awareness. Also, consider subscribing to our channel for more interesting videos every week.